as long as it's positive. Just as long as we don't use our cause or our beliefs or our own individual ideologies as a way to hammer on the other people's heads. I personally
yeah, it's exactly what you're doing. You used a petty, cheap piece of rhetoricals. You can't even make your own humor video. You have to steal somebody else's content to make a cheap bullshit point.
I see myself as a person who hammers my views and ideologies. I put up my videos and people have the alternative or choice to watch me or someone else. Hell, I even recommend Fred.
Oh, gee, I mean, a straw man much there, Brett? I mean, who's saying you shouldn't have your right to make your little speeches? I have my right to call you an ugly, stupid, moronic fucktard that isn't worth the trouble. I have my right to say I'm not going to associate with you as a human being because you're a piece of crap. You're no better than, okay, any other, you're no better than a serial killer or something. I mean, to defend your gluttonous bigotry, your deviant, destructive, ugly, grotesque psychology is idiotic. Human beings should be better than you. A lot fucking better.
See, that's what you're into. Now, I got out my crazy Gary translator device in order to try to hear some points that Amanda made through all the yelling and ruckus. And he said something to the effect of, Brett, you make atheists look like we're retarded. You make atheists look stupid. You know, that's a weird thing that you say, because I've never considered any atheist on YouTube or out in this world as a representation of my views and ideas.
Well, that's just, it's more bullshit. You don't blame the religion for the fucktards like Venom Fang X. They aren't a bad representation of religion. Suicide bombers aren't a bad representation of Muslims or the Muslim religion. I mean, what a crock of shit. Yeah, you're an ugly fucking atheist, okay? You're the very kind of selfish, gluttonous pig, unintellectual, lacking, you don't even like the word integrity. Yeah, you're the kind of shit atheism doesn't fucking need. You're atheism's worst fucking enemy.
I consider myself an individual with my own views and perspective, and I don't expect that everyone will share.
Wow, straw man again, right? Who's arguing about your rights to have a fucking perspective or to voice your fucking opinion? What I have a right to do is ridicule the nonsense that's coming out of your mouth, just like you do. Just like your friend, the amazing fucking atheist, does. Are you going to give him some lectures, Brett? Why don't you give him some lectures on how he should be treating his adversaries? You stupid, lame piece of fucking hypocritical crap.
I feel or think. I wonder what would happen if I were to call up churches and yell at people and cuss at them and scream on top of my lungs. Would I ever make them think? Would I ever cause them to think about their position and try other alternatives?
No, yeah, your tactic is even more fucking brilliant, right? You post nonsense, rhetorical humor videos that have absolutely no substance. The argument is completely lame, inane nonsense, complete straw man nonsense. And you call that a rational fucking, somebody's supposed to rationally respond to mush like that? Garbage, trite.
Up their position at all, even though I'm not really concerned if people convert or not. My real goal is just to simply make people think.
Yeah, right. Bullshit. Bullshit. The only thing you're trying to get people to think is the words Brett Keane, so you can find some fucking angle, so you can make some fucking ego money. That's all you're after, is your big, fat, ugly fucking ego.
All you vegetarians out there and people who claim to care about animal life, yet making excuses why it's okay to...
Oh, yeah, again, so you said it again. You claim to care about animal life, but yes, making excuses. So the only way you care about something is its survival, right? I mean, there's no other equation. There's no other component to life. Life is only survival. It has nothing to do with the quality of life. It has nothing to do with what people feel. So the next time you whine and complain about your health problems, everybody should just laugh like hell. Right? Because it's funny. It's funny that you're miserable, unhappy, suffering, being tormented by some physical disability. Everybody should just laugh their ass off at that because it doesn't mean anything. Right, Brett? You dumb, stupid, ignorant pile of fucking puke.
Kill plants? Do you think that maybe you could do video responses to me or comments where you're civilized? where you actually do...
Again, you call it civilized to post a video calling vegetarians hypocrites based on the fact that they're intelligent enough to make a distinction between a blade of grass and a fucking elephant. You posted that shit, Brett. Nobody else. You did, you dumb ass. Now take responsibility for what you posted, you stupid fuck.
Like you give a fuck about human life as well as animal life. Of course, humans being animals as well.
Yeah, well, animals with a brain, so humans have responsibility. Animals don't. Animals can't help being assholes because they don't know any better. They don't have 10,000 years of science to inform them and educate them. You, on the other hand, have ignored 10,000 years of fucking civilization and decided you're going to take your marching orders from a goddamn Venus flytrap.
Cuss me out, or you call other YouTubers names because we happen to go out to restaurants or eat.
Okay, again, right. Go save this speech for every other atheist that you call friend. Save it for fake Sagan, a guy who, you know, who would ridicule people for having big feet. Save it for the amazing fucking fucktard, okay, the amazing wastiest. Every fucking video he makes has, you know, demeaning and insulting and frivolous and superficial rhetoric in it. So save this speech for your own fucking friends, asshole.
Help your cause any. It's kind of like a Christian at an abortion clinic throwing rocks at pregnant women. You're not helping out the fetus, and you're definitely not helping out the emotions nor the physical.
Yeah, well, sorry. You do it your way. I've converted plenty of people to vegetarianism, Brett, so fuck you. And you're going to help me convert some more, because people aren't going to want to look as dumb as you sound.
The welfare of a woman by doing what you're doing. There's a friend of mine named Gypsy Witch who is a total vegetarian, and then there's Onision who I like to watch. Don't know him enough to be able to consider him a friend, but I enjoy his videos. I don't particularly...
Who the fuck cares, Brett? Why don't you answer the fucking point, okay? You called us fucking hypocrites. I've made a counter-argument. You got nothing. Your response is a bunch of fucking pointless babble about how people argue and what you enjoy. Who the fuck cares what you enjoy? It's irrelevant to a philosophical discussion. It's irrelevant to the question of whether or not you're a complete idiotic, moronic fucktard.
I agree with him on everything, but I do find that some of the stuff that he does is interesting. Do I attack him? Will I insult him because he prefers salad over meat?
Who the fuck cares, Brett? Again, who the fuck cares? You live your life your way. I'm going to live my life my way. I would fight in wars you wouldn't fight in. Big deal. It's completely irrelevant to the subject matter. I think you're a despicable, disgusting, motherfucking, selfish, greedy piece of shit. All right? That's my fucking opinion. I've just expressed it, you dumb fucking piece of shit.
One of the last things that I heard Amendum say before he decided to leave and tell us all that he blocks us and that he's not going to listen to us anymore is that he says, do you think that slavery is funny? Do you think that it's funny? He compares slavery with that of the destruction of animals and all that. Yet at the same time, most of his friends who are vegan or vegetarians also possess cats and animals in their home and dogs. If you...
Yeah, well, so again, you're ignoring the fucking subject and starting some other subject. I'm personally am against the pet ownership. I'd have a huge licensing fee for anybody who wanted to own a goddamn pet. Because, yeah, they end up being homeless and they end up showing up at my house and eating goddamn food. All right? Nobody wants to take responsibility for that. And then when they're sick, somebody like me has to pay $70 to have them humanely put to sleep. But you're probably against that too, right? Because you don't give a fuck. So anyway, it's irrelevant. Whether people own pets or not has nothing to do with the subject matter, which is, should the next generation be encouraged to eat meat? Should they be encouraged to acquire what has been proven to be a completely unnecessary addiction? You don't need to be addicted to it. You don't need to desire it. That only happens because of cultural influences, okay? There's billions of people on Earth right now living without putting a bunch of cow flesh in their fucking colon. All right, so it's a proven fact. People can live without it, and it'd be better for the human race as a society, as a species, better for the planet if we stop farming these animals.
You really want to go that extreme and pretend like your cause is better than everybody, then why don't you release your animals? Apparently, you're the one that...
Release them to what? Who's, again, you're making another straw man argument. Well, who's advocating that nature is some fucking paradise? You're the one making that argument. You're the fucktard who thinks nature knows what it's doing. The vegetarians are the ones saying, no, nature sucks, human society sucks, because they're blueprinting after nature. They're copying that cruelty. And we can do a hell of a lot better than that.
Slavery, because you hold these animals against their will and their consent.
That's not even close to a fact, is it, Brett? I mean, what animals are you talking about? Does everybody own horses or something? As far as I know, the people that have pets, their pets are treated better than a lot of people are treated. It's not against their will. They want to run in people's houses, okay? The dog comes home from a walk, he wants to run into the fucking house and get his nice meal and get his nice soft bed. So what you're talking is complete fucking bullshit. Even if it was a relevant argument, it's still a piece of shit argument.